Hi everyone, Sponge here. Today I'm going to break the myth of the century. How much money can a translator and interpreter make? Like any jobs in any industries, there's always been the same percentage of winners and losers, happy folks and sad sacks, fat cats and starving dogs. I'm based in Shanghai, so for the record, the figures you're going to see might be in the middle and higher ranges, not the industry average. Now, let's dive right in. The money a translator and interpreter can make consists of one or more answers to these questions. What kind of interpreter is he? How many translation and interpreting gigs does he take? Does he own a business? And so on. For an in-house translator and interpreter, a fresh postgraduate could expect a wide salary range from $8,000 to $20,000 a month, depending on which company he works for, which industry he belongs to, and the proportion of T&I in his work. Typically, tech and financial companies provide a higher salary package than traditional sectors. I won't name names, the logistic company I know gives less than $200,000 a year for an experienced interpreter, while a mobile phone manufacturer can give up to $240,000 a year for a fresh postgraduate. If your job is not all about T&I, the range can vary even further. Also, you may expect different types of interpreting in different companies. For instance, in the automobile industry, it's more about simultaneous interpreting. In the financial industry, translating, consecutive, and simultaneous interpreting. In law firms, mainly translating. I won't talk about how it works in governments since I know little about it, but in general, it's hard to earn over $400,000 to $500,000 a year as an in-house translator and interpreter, unless you're very senior or leading a team. That's why many of them will seek for career transformation or become freelancers later on. The second source of income is translation and interpreting gigs. These are based on the market prices. In Shanghai, the majority of the simultaneous interpreters earn $3,000 to $6,000 a day, or $2,000 to $3,000 for half a day, or $1,000 to $1,500 per hour. As you can see, the shorter the service hour is, the higher price every hour costs. For consecutive interpreting, most charge $3,000 to $5,000 a day, or $1,000 to $3,000 for half a day. The scholarly interpreting is even lower, about $500 to $1,500 a day, but it's a good way to start if you're a student. Really good interpreters with access to good resources can charge $8,000 or $10,000 a day, but that's only a small amount of people. I thought $10,000 a day was all the money in the world until I know a guy who charged a session in last year's CIE and earned $20,000 in the morning. I know you may have taken out a calculator and start punching numbers. 5,000 multiplies 20 multiplies 12 is 12 million. But that's not how the freelance market works. For instance, there are peak seasons like March and April, September and October, and slack seasons like January. The number of interpreting tasks you could take varies hugely per month. Besides, if you're going to interpret for a new area you're not so familiar with, which happens all the time in this business, you need to invest a tremendous amount of time preparing. I will give you two recent cases of mine facing completely new areas. In October, I was interpreting at a blockchain forum where a bunch of Google engineers talking about sharding. Last week, I was interpreting for a PwC partner on tax risks. I literally spent dozens of hours learning about these topics, and this prevents interpreters from laying paid jobs every day. Next, translation. Personally, I don't do this very often, and this translation market in China is not that regulated, so my opinion might be biased. Now I must take translation tasks at 200 yuan per 1,000 words, the minimum, and 700 the maximum. But you should know there are much higher prices when you translate personal statements and much lower prices like 60 to 80 yuan per 1,000 words when translating books for publishers. You are not well paid, but you will have your name printed on the cover. So these translation and interpreting tasks in the market are the bread and butter for the freelancers, most of whom will see a bottleneck of 500,000 a year in China. But in China, translation jobs alone are far from enough for a living. Therefore, many of those who only do translations have another full-time job like teaching or schools or universities. So that's why some of them chose to create a third source of income by starting business, such as training programs, a translation company, a consulting studio for studying overseas, or a conference service company that offers T&I services as well. Still, it's hard for even them, the best ones, earn $1 million over a year. So this is how much money most translators and interpreters make, and thanks for watching. Please like if this is helpful. If you have any questions, email me at the address in my profile or leave it in a comment. I will see you next time.